Hello everybody and welcome to episode 27 of the Wimlex Show. We're delighted that Nils Zünddorf is with us today. Nils is the managing director of Factor A, the leading company in the most attractive area of e-commerce, Amazon. Factor A is a pioneer in Amazon vendor management with a combination of technology and agency performance, and they work for over 100 international top brands. The conversation today will be led by Alexander, who obviously has a background in Amazon services and in e-commerce. So this will be a very interesting conversation with Nils. This show is being brought to you by Spryker and Debt Agency, and the hosts are Lena Hekkeleur from Stockholm, Alexander Graaf from Germany, and myself, Willem Blom from the Netherlands.
Hello Nils, welcome to the Wimlex Show. Today again from the Debt Festival in Amsterdam, and we're going to talk about Amazon SEO, Marktplatz management, and how your business evolved over the last 2 years. Please introduce yourself to the Wimlex listeners.
Yes, my name is Nils. I'm one of the managing directors of Factor A, and here I joined Factor A quite at the beginning, and since half a year I'm one of the managing directors.
What is Factor A doing exactly?
We call ourselves a tech agency, so we're a full service Amazon. We can be your external Amazon department, your key account team, but also helping strategic wise, getting you the right data, getting an overview of what's happening on the marketplace itself. And on the other side, since data is crucial for Amazon, with a development team just getting the right data for you for Amazon, and so you can make the right decision.
I think when Factor A started in 2015, if I remember correctly, the main topic was all about getting your product data optimized on Amazon, so to leverage the marketplace capability, that your toothbrush was more prominently positioned against another toothbrush, so you get more traffic, you get better listings in the categories. If you're looking now into your clients' demands, so is it still the same? Has it changed? Has it changed category-wise, or is it now a totally different game you're playing on Amazon?
Mm-hmm. I would say the barrier or what you have to do is way more. So the still the SEO part. So doing the right content that you'll be found is still the basis. Especially for clients who more coming from the B2B sector, so that you're right now your catalog is online, but to really gain market share and get the most out of Amazon, the advertising part got way more important because Amazon prioritizes advertising more, and there are more slots on Amazon you can actually book, so it's got more complex there. And the other part we're seeing is it got way more strategic. So 3-4 years back, Amazon was just one distribution channel, and now often it's it's the biggest online, but also significant in terms of the total share where you get your clients from. So strategic wise, portfolio wise, the decisions are way more important, and so we put more effort in that.
And if I still also remember correctly, in 2015 there was a lot of discussion about, should I be on Amazon? Should I rather focus on the seller program, on the marketplace program? Should I in-house personnel that is keeping up with Amazon? So what has changed there? So there's probably older brands whose products are already sold a lot on Amazon. There's newer brands. So is there a shift? Is there do the more experienced brands and manufacturers evolve with the Amazon challenge, or is it too hard to evolve with Amazon?
Mm-hmm. So we more or less have no discussion anymore if I should be on Amazon. There's few brands who, but only top brands who sometimes decide not to go. But most of the time then seller do the business there. So that's not the discussion anymore. It's more how can we get the most out of it, and how do we navigate between the pitfalls and at least maybe just keep our brand up there. And regarding question from the team, we see more and more actually clients having an Amazon team. Often like at least one person, but 3 persons. So it like gets way more important there as well.
And brands that are employing like 3% in their team for managing Amazon-related issues. So how big are they on Amazon? Are these like, do they do 1 million Amazon in sales, or 10 million, or 100 million?
I would say start with 1 million. And if you do like 10 or 20, you probably need more people. Just like on the daily operations. Still so much is manually. Like the system from Amazon, it's like sometimes 16 years old, and so it's not a lot is automated. So every report you get, every uploading content, everything is still manual. So when you grow on Amazon, you have to grow the team as well, or get more tools to support yourself. And what we have with lots of clients is that we kind of have a mixed setup. So we are doing a part which maybe is like you need more knowledge about it, because it's hard to get people who have Amazon experience and have like the full picture, like e-commerce, advertising, and content. And so we do parts for them, and the other parts they do in-house, or we automate them with the software.
And would you say the marketplace is getting on a level where it's really easy to understand for most brands how they need to navigate through the pitfalls, or it's still like these kind of hectic-driven discussions inside? Oh, our share of Amazon is getting too big. They are becoming like too powerful in our purchasing discussions, and I think on most stages in Germany or in the DACH market, Amazon is still the main topic. Even on the most discussions behind closed doors, when salespeople, key account managers, online people are discussing, even with other retailers, their strategies, even there, Amazon, not even present in person, is one of the main topics. Do you see this, or is it like bigger brands that are now experienced do have a very, very solid way to handle the challenge?
It's still the major topic, and some are even annoyed by that they have to spend so much time on this topic, even though it's maybe just one of their clients. What changed there over the last year, I would say that the pressure from Amazon itself on the brands got higher. So a lot of discussion is like talking about alternatives, like other ways, maybe going in another model with Amazon, going in a European model, what kind of other shifts around Amazon maybe. So there's most of discussions like kind of how to handle Amazon the best way, but also what could we do to get a little bit more independent.
Do you think what Birkenstock did with Amazon, I think it was last year, when they decided not to sell anymore to Amazon or over Amazon, was a good decision?
It's a tough one, but I would say for a consumer brand in fashion, which is like a standardized product, Birkenstock, it's not like something, it's like the e-commerce product, easy for fashion, it's quite easy. I think the return rate is not that high, besides the size maybe. I don't think that this kind of the, in terms of doing sales, probably not the right decision. But I understand where they're coming from, because there's a lot of fraud and products which are not licensed there.
But now there's only products that are not wanted to be there from Birkenstock, and that's a Birkenstock product itself.
Yes. So I understand that you say at a certain point, I don't want to deal with them anymore if they don't help us. What we see is like over the last few months, there's getting more and more stuff Amazon is publishing regarding getting rid of the fraud products, and so when you have a brand, you can actually upload fully lists of products which should be get off the platform. There's some pressure from the European Commission as well, and also in the US, where Amazon really has more and more take care of what happens with the products itself. So I think this will get better now.
I'm asking the Birkenstock question because I assume that there are other brands that were looking very, very carefully into what Birkenstock did, because lots of brands wish to be in a situation where they could do that and say, okay, please, Amazon, go fuck yourself. You're treating us like we are some burglar and not your partner. So we'd like to do that. Do you see brands discussing that? Being what would happen if we really pull the plug and don't deliver any products anymore?
So they're like always negotiations. But I think that's normal if you would sell like to a normal supermarket or Walmart, whatever, you have the same thing, that you just delist because of the price or whatever. I think the price discussion is a fair thing, but it's normal. It's like that have been in the offline world as well. And the decision not to do it because of your brand, it's a little bit outdated. And you like have to figure out a way how to use the tools and possibilities of Amazon to show your brand. For instance, like for one premium fashion brand, we just did like a big brand store on Amazon, and it looks great. And because the Amazon has like way better SEO ranking, we are even above their normal website. So what would be the difference then if somebody ends up on Amazon and it's like just like pictures are shitty, like everything else?
And I recall when we discussed the Factor A business on Kassenzone, and I think this is already like 1.5 years ago at least, maybe even 2, you said that it's because there's so many possible ways to spend advertising money, but very little competition, it's hard to spend more than, let's say, 50k per month for a brand, because it's the click price is so low. Has that changed?
Yes, that has changed. So I would say compared to like 2 years ago, the click price often doubled, at least. But still, we're getting to a point because the algorithms got better and we have way more traffic that it's still like in terms of the return on advertising spent, or the ROI is still positive and for most of the cases. Not like if you're selling a toothbrush for $3, probably not, but in every other way as well. And the budgets got higher as well. So it's now easily to spend 100, 200k a month if you want to. But it's still not compared to Google, it's nothing, or Facebook.
And these like 200, 300k a month, let's say you have like a very consumer-focused category where consumers would expect your products on the catalog. So for like a 100, 200k per month, and let's say the product is expensive enough, so is the direct return on invest still there? So that was always the question that on Google we need to calculate in lifetime revenues per customer, because the first click, the first purchase was so expensive that you would lose money and that you would hope that the customers would come back again. Is it different on Amazon? Can you still really return a nice return on invest on your initial Amazon marketing investment?
Yes. So and we see the shift as well. So if you only look at the marketing perspective without any margins, like only on the price itself, then we often like have a return of 10 or sometimes up to 20, but like often it's roughly over all our clients is right now I think 8 to 9. So $1 in and 8, 9, 10 out of it.
In revenue.
Yeah. In revenue, but in terms of margin, and this is a trend we see more and more, that that people calculate down on the margin. This is especially like for sellers or people who are really looking on short-term sales. This is the one direction, so that you really calculate down on the margin. And the other direction is like to think about Amazon advertising more like in a classic marketing way. So like getting new clients, like there's a new like 1 year old more or less, KPI which is called new to brand. So you can see people who haven't bought your product before that, but we still don't have like a lifetime value. It's not there as a KPI. So it's like really focused on getting new clients there. And the other part is like really looking into the lifetime of your product itself. So push it at the beginning, so you're up in the organic rankings, that you get stars, that you're that you get in the share of shelf, and think in the advertising space like not like keeping always like down on the short-term sales, but also more like in a life cycle as well.
And where do you see the way going for like the let's say independent seller on Amazon who is like maybe he's even buying Birkenstock products from whatever source and selling it online, and now he's complaining all the time. And I'm following a couple of Facebook groups, and there's more complaints and like happiness in there. That's so much pressure, so much competition now from China, and it's so hard to find new products that are being sold profitable. And all these Chinese sellers are only selling crap. I think it was the same products before, but labeled by a German seller. But do you follow these discussions a lot, or do you say no, in your industry or in your business you're really handling like B2B or bigger companies with decent brands? That's not a problem at all. Because where does the question comes from? I would assume if you would work for like a Fissler or a WMF, there's so many new competition coming up from China that could also produce frying pans for a much better price at a more or less same quality, because it's not so hard to make, even though Miss Fissler would state otherwise. It must be the same effect, but on a bigger scale.
There it really depends on the category. So classic consumer electronics, for instance, Bluetooth headphones, there's really strong competition from China. I see that in the big or in the small scale. Like, if you don't have a product which has a USP, or it's like patent or something like this, and you just did it in the past because of your brand, you built trust, and now you can build the trust with the star system of Amazon, so you don't have to pay the premium anymore. Then it's fair, and then it's kind of just the part where you actually get market transparency, and so there's a higher pressure on the portfolio.
So we are paying more and more the fair price for the product. There's no brand premium anymore on a fair marketplace or a transparent marketplace. That's what you said.
That's kind of the idea. Like Jeff Bezos said that like quite early. Like, your margin is my opportunity, and I don't want that the client paying a premium to gain trust because of the brand. But I think, and this is like where we have like issues and problems right now, is that we have more and more, I would say, people who like corrupt the system and kind of have fraud reviews and whatever. I think it's still better than on any other place in the internet, but this is kind of really precious good, this kind of the stars. And so Amazon is working quite hard on it right now to get like this problem fixed, but like because the whole system is building on it. But and this is kind of for the sellers. If you just like have been like a good import-export company, there's probably not a future for you, because like the logistics and the Chinese can do it as well. And they have the scale. It comes directly
There's
from there.
no need for a student in Rostock who imports Bluetooth speakers and puts a label on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you said, and that I found very interesting, lots of competitors of Amazon are looking they do have a very interested view on Amazon, because I always think that they are doing things much better. Now, you stated in your introduction that the system itself is sometimes like 16 years old. So what does it mean that in the back end it's really like it's still like uploading Excel lists? You really need to check like manually if your product is still listed correctly in the right category, for example. Is it that what you're describing? Because what we are seeing right now on the consumer side, the system is really old. So all these facet filtering is not working at all. It's only like all the category sites are sometimes organized manually. So it's lots of products don't get in reviews anymore, which is for me like always a signal not to buy at Amazon. If there's no review on a product, I don't buy it, and I'd rather go to eBay or another shop. So how does it look like? Is it really that bad?
So it's like, I would say, every IT company who like grew a system over 10, 20 years, but like they grew at a scale which is like crazy. So they never really had the time to redo everything properly. So they always taking parts which they kind of redo now, but other parts are still really old. And it's like a crazy system and a machine, like where you put something in there, and there's a lot of stuff is still manually. And so Amazon always goes in the direction where they can kind of, what we see like in advertising space, they focus on the things where you actually can spend more money. So they're making more money, and they're focused on those. features. And from the development power, they're not looking too much into the desktop. What we see, at least in most of the markets, that they look going into the app, they're going in voice. So they're really focusing on the new generation, where they're saying like everything in between, we don't invest too much time and money in it anymore. So
and you see desktop is dying then? Is that what the customer? Do you see as a brand what the share is between mobile use of purchases and desktop use?
There you don't see it. What we see is like when we're doing campaigns, you can run campaigns on Amazon with the DSP. There you can actually see how much is mobile, how much is desktop, and desktop is still quite big in Germany. In other markets, it's smaller because most people shop when they work. So the most traffic is on Monday morning, like so when people should work but they don't.
They somehow work for their family then. But when you say like if they're like focusing on voice, can you see as a brand that voice is becoming more important there? Is it something the way you see if there's any order generated via Alexa, can you see that the brand?
So you cannot see it that way, no. But what we see is like, and they're looking more like Amazon as a full picture, where they probably kind of see the biggest opportunity as well. It's like they're getting more and more a media company, a broadcasting company, and in this connection, like now getting people to use it on a daily basis with Fire TV, with all the other product, Audible. Now they're streaming football games or baseball, or so they're getting like in that spheres, like in the daily business, and where there's like maybe even like in terms of scaling and margin, like the nicer business. So I think this is the first step there. And then what we see is like lots of our clients, or especially like manufacturers and brand, are from FMCG, like supermarket stuff, are interested in kind of rebuying. So I need my toothbrushes empty. I need another one. Get the one from last time. So I think in terms of commerce right now, it's more like everybody has to get used to talking to the machine. But when I look at my niece, she's like talking to it like a normal person, and so. But this is kind of the next step there.
Okay, so it's not seeable right now. But then, if it's not seeable on the Alexa machines, which are already popular even in Germany, and there's a lot of machines in German kitchens, what do you think about the move from Amazon now announced at the IFA that they want to bring out TVs with an kind of Alexa built in?
I think it's like it's a logical evolution there, and I think one of the most important steps. To not only don't need only the box, but you're like when people are watching TV, you're there. People are getting used to talk to the TV, and the most important part is like the connection with the TV. So you're running Fire TV, and then you can run an addressable TV ad on it. So I know you're looking.
Is it called Fire TV?
So normally you have a Fire TV stick, which you would plug in, but now it's already pre-installed. It's like Windows with the Internet Explorer. What they did there, and now you have like Fire TV in it. You probably don't switch, or you have like two in it, but you kind of get the user behavior, and then based on what they're watching, I already can address certain ads to you and what you looked at on Amazon. So you're sitting on your couch or in your bed watching TV. I know you were looking for a mattress. I know you were somebody who was always buying more expensive products. And I know that you're at least like a couple, because like you're both shopping with the account, and then I can address like, say, this is the mattress, you want to have it. And the next thing with the Alexa is like, okay, Amazon, just buy that what I just saw. So you have this issue with voice where you don't have like the screen, and you can make the decision. Now you have the biggest screen in the home, and can show stuff there, and can actually do the branding part, but address to you on a unique level.
And I don't know. I haven't followed like the presentation one super specifically, but will it be like subsidized? Where will it be cheaper presented to the customer because they think over the time they can regain their margin over selling products on the new TV screen? So I tried it with the Fire Phone. It was kind of cheaper. Eventually, nobody wanted it at all. So it's not so easy to establish an Amazon device in an already existing category. the Echo was a new category, so it was
Yeah.
easier to establish like such a product. But whenever they try to grab market share from existing providers, like in this case LG, Samsung, whatever, it's not so easy to do. So
Yeah.
do you know something about that?
So I think the strategy is a little bit different here. So the thing is, like, you have pre-installed apps on the smart TVs and stuff, but the problem is you have, like, to a certain extent, your possibilities in kind of catching what the people are looking and addressing kind of the ads or changing stuff in it, are not possible for the apps. So this is kind of where they kind of try to step in there, like, and getting better integrated. And with their working together in US with Best Buy, and in Germany like MediaMarkt Saturn, and with other manufacturers like Grundig, I don't think that they're actually cheaper. It's more like maybe even an add-on, like, oh, does your Bluetooth speaker can work with Alexa as well?
Yeah.
I don't think the strategy is that it's cheaper or it's just like an additional feature. Can you talk to the TV? This kind of, can you navigate with your voice? This kind of, I think in a few years it will be standard. Switch to the another channel.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that with your hand and switch to 3,000 channels. You just want to say.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I'd like to replicate one thing we did in our podcast like 1.5-2 years ago at Kassenzone. So let's assume I'm one of these Amazon, Facebook members trying to get in the Amazon industry where everybody obviously can become a millionaire in a very short time. What would be now your standard answer if there's like a student or like a young professional trying to move into the space, selling whatever Bluetooth headset or kitchenware in some niche? Do you have a standard answer here?
Yes.
Are you doing it?
No, I'm not doing it. I don't want to say my time is too precious for that, but it's like a really tough business. I think two things are important there. One is you really have to love your product and your category. So think about like, what kind of problem can I solve? What do I love? Do I love dogs? And this is all my life. So get in that category. We see in the long run, this are always people like you. They can talk about content, and they really identify and know their kind of the issues there and what you have to look at. And the other part is I wouldn't go on Alibaba or ship something from China and get it in with all this stress and certified. I would look around me, look in the Netherlands, look somewhere in the European Union, look for manufacturers who are doing a really great job, and maybe import it, and so they're like really good and capable of as a manufacturer, but maybe not in online sales, and get like a connection with them and like classic, instead of like what in the older days saying I will sell your stuff in Jamaica. Now you make like getting together with them saying I will sell your stuff on Amazon, building the business there, and maybe even then you have like a strategic buyer for your business.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's no shortcut anymore, but there might be new product ideas for some kitchenware if you have a good idea, a good supplier relationship. So Amazon could be the space where you can be successful, but there's no easy arbitrage potential anymore.
You have to be really fast, and you have to scale. So this is the issue there. If you're like getting a fidget spinner or something like this back in the day, or I don't know what's right now the new hype. The problem is that the manufacturer itself in China will always outscale you. Economy of scale is like hitting you hard, and there are a lot of people around you who can't calculate a real margin, so the prices often drop really fast. That's why you have kind of built a world kind of portfolio around something, and like to really get clients to rebuying or rebuy in your world, do some cross upselling.
I think one other thing we've discussed 2 years ago was that Amazon wanted to put like seller, also vendor and seller somehow together, so that there won't be any difference anymore in the future, because there's so many arbitrage from vendor and seller people, manufacturers trying to hire some straw man sellers so they can own like the arbitrage business too, and then Amazon discussed, okay, now we need to get it together because it doesn't make any sense no more, and we even want to have sellers given the opportunity to to spend advertising money on the different advertising streams, which was like exclusively for vendors in the beginning. What has changed there? Is there like still this discussion, vendor versus seller, how we do it?
It is there a lot, often for the wrong reason, because people are like having a margin problem with Amazon, and they believe that if they switch from vendor to seller or the other way around, they solve that. But often the portfolio is just not e-commerce ready.
Or the product is not good.
Yeah. And the other part from Amazon itself, I think there are two drivers that the seller business is getting bigger and bigger. I mean, in Jeff's annual letter, shareholder letter, they said like roughly 50%. It's one is scaling. It's really hard to scale if you do with every manufacturer contract every year, and you always fight over it and take 3-4 months. Then you set up, so you scale way easier over the marketplace. And for instance, India is only marketplace. And the other part is like, that some people that they're getting too much power in one company, and with the marketplace, like in the channel, with the marketplace, they solve kind of that, saying we are not selling, we just offer the marketplace, and we just giving the channel. So for instance, in the US and in Europe, where there's like a lot of more and more people saying that they're getting too powerful, the marketplace is kind of the solution to kind of get around like what Google did. Like in the end, we don't push our own services. I think if Google wanted, there would be like Google Hotel Search or Google flight booking platform. This all took so long because they were kind of afraid of the commission. And I think Amazon is running the same scaling and issues there as well now.
And on your private e-commerce consumer life, are you still relying on Amazon, or are you now picking more and more new marketplaces or other niche shops again?
I'm still more or less 100% Amazon. For the company, we tried like sometimes we want to buy cheap, so we use like price comparison pages. But last week I said we don't do it anymore. We buy on Amazon because I was so annoyed by some of the services. And you want to send it back, and so the process cost is so high sometimes, so that it doesn't work out. But in the end, I bought my yellow Birkenstock on eBay. This was kind of experience. And this is the interesting part. You ask me like how old this software and whatever. Most of our clients working with eBay is way easier, but there's just not so much traffic there and so much sales. So they kind of the additional channels are often easier to work with. So they're spending most of the time on Amazon. And this is why when we started, we had like an eBay division as well, but nobody cared for it because it's just kind of is working low, kind of-ish. The system is better and there's not so much demand.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Is there any advice for like a bigger brand looking out for being more dominant in its category on Amazon? Any standard thing you see on every deal that comes in?
Yeah, I think the most important part is there that you first kind of have to get a realistic picture where you are right now, and this I mean like in terms of what is my market share, who are really my competitors, because often like a classic brand don't even see those Chinese because they are not offline. So they're getting that data, and then based on that, really look into kind of what do I really need, because we often get like requests then from the advertising department or from somebody who's responsible for the brand, but like the full picture can really get incremental sales and gain market share, so like making money. This is often like it doesn't run together because often the sales and marketing departments don't work together. And this is kind of the advice I would give, that Amazon is not only a sales platform anymore, but also like one of the biggest sites in the world with the most traffic. So in terms of...
And this is under-leveraged by a couple of marketing departments?
Not by a couple, by almost all of them.
Is there any, and that's going to be the last question, is there any brand that is doing a super, super, super good job? I remember like a podcast with Christian came, and but I think he was biased there. His favorite was Lego. That they're doing good, but it's like the Apple example or Adidas example. It's kind of its own league. Is there any brand doing a super good, outstanding job on Amazon right now?
it's hard not to mention one of ours, but
You can mention one of yours. That's not a problem at all.
I think what is important here is that the kind of what is your goal, what you want to achieve with Amazon, and some are doing really, really well in terms of selling and scaling, and seeing the opportunity here. And others just see the advertising department there. So here, I think it will be misleading if I say just some brands, because the challenge they have and what they want to solve is always really different, and it's hard to look from outside on that.
Do you think Lego is doing a good job?
I think they could do more.
And and maybe that's like a specific excurse here. We know there's a couple of punishment strategies for Amazon if a brand is not doing what Amazon wants, and one of these punishment strategies was, when I learned about it, this item is exclusively reserved for Prime members. So and this leads actually to whatever drop down in conversion, because a non-Prime member couldn't buy it. And I once saw all Lego products with this label. Could that have been like a mistake or somehow, or was it like a little hiccup between the departments from Lego and Amazon?
So I'm not too much into the system of Amazon. I don't know really what happens there. What we often see is that when we have clients who getting a new contract with Amazon or in discussion, and then they say we won't pay this anymore, and this because we don't see it. So the total margin for Amazon drops, and there is a threshold when the margin is too low, then it's a Prime product, and it's just a mechanism. So when you're saying when you are happy that you don't pay the R4S or whatever is from Amazon anymore, if your products are not profitable, the algorithm will put it first to a Plus product or to Prime product, so only Prime members can buy it, or just kick you out of the buy box because the seller then sells it if there's even worse than in this threshold. So this is kind of only an indicator that there's no margin on this product for Amazon. And
hard to believe for the Lego case, actually.
If it's for all of the products, probably something went wrong, but we have some FMCG products which are really cheap, and I believe if you're sending for instance, for your cows, sending the food over Amazon, and it costs $10 and it's 20 kilograms, it's probably there's no margin in that. I would say in almost most of the cases, what I see when people are complaining about it, it's a margin. There's a margin issue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
And when you're happy that you get rid of all the additional services of Amazon, whatever, and you get out of the system, and then often you have a margin drop, and we see that in the SEO part as well. That your overall experience, when we look at the numbers, what's your visibility, that your visibility drops as well. But I think it's a logical step there. If it would be my store, my website, I wouldn't put the products where I don't have any margin on top.
You have to play by their rules. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Happily, I'm a Prime member, so no problem for me when products are sold. So actually, I never buy Plus products because I don't. Because I'm always buying only one or two products, and then it never adds up to a big enough basket. So I usually go to the buy box and try to find another seller who is selling it for a price that not leads for a Plus product.
But there you see how Amazon changed your shopping behavior.
Yeah.
You just buying, you need it, you buy it. It's not like you're doing a shopping cart, fill it, and then get everything. So your whole shopping behavior now already changed. With what we see there, and it's interesting, in the conversion, Prime products often have a better conversion rate than Plus products.
Must be so.
Because lots of Germans have Prime membership.
So let's see if we can find some brands and to continue the discussion here at the Dev Festival. I think it was a sensational update on what's happening on Amazon. The platform, I try to sum it up. The platform is getting more professional. So even the discussions are getting more professional. Even though the wish of the brands never materialized, that they got like in a stronger position, but they at least know now where they stand. And the system itself evolves a lot, so it's not like that you set up like one strategy and you can follow it for the next like couple of months or even years. You need to be in the system with your help on a daily basis to stay on top. Otherwise, you will be crapped out, to say it with a word, with Amazon.
Yeah.
Niels, thanks a lot for your time. Until we see you next on Wimlex.
Yeah. Thank you very much.